Hey guys, welcome back to the MangaMark channel. We're doing a video that's a little different today. If this is your first video that you've seen from this channel, welcome. I am currently watching through One Piece for the first time and reacting to it on the channel. I have just finished Skypiea. Now, usually at the end of these kind of bigger arcs, I'll do a kind of character tier list video, which I will do. And then this weekend I am going to jump into the G8 arc, which I know is filler, but as you guys have recommended to me to record for it, so I will be doing that, because it's a lot of hype around, like, it's probably the most hype I've seen around a filler arc in anything, so I'm looking forward to seeing what we get from it. But this video today is just a little thing I wanted to do, just so you guys have a understanding of where my mind is at in this story at this point. Like, I've got my little notebook here that I've had from I started the series, and I'm just going to, I've went through and I've kind of like circled a bunch of things that a couple of them I'd forgotten about, and it's basically just questions I have, like at this point in the story, questions I have that I would like to see answered in the future, theories that I have for some of these things. You know, I won't have theories for all of them because I don't have enough information, but I'll give you my thoughts on what I think about it and what I hope to see from it. And that's basically what this is. It's just a video to, like I said, give you guys understanding, right? What is his thought process? What does he think of this? Like, who does he think certain characters are going to turn out to be, blah, blah, blah. Things like that, you know, like little things, because there's been a few characters and stuff that have been mentioned in the story, but we don't have much information on them, or I haven't seen them yet. So, like, there are a couple of them where I'm just going to, like, this is what I think is going to happen, this is how I think this works, and I understand that this is a video that invites spoilers, right? I get that. If I could ask you guys to please try and be as respectful and kind as you can, because I know that a lot of the things I'm probably going to say, you guys will have the answers to, because I know most of you are up to date with the series. So, you know, I've still got like 800 odd episodes to catch up. So I know that most of the things I'm going to say, you probably know. You know, you're probably sitting there going off, but you know, that we found that out in episode 500, you know, get with the program. I've just finished Skypiea, so please, if you could, just, I've got somebody that helps me monitor the comments, but, you know, I would really appreciate it if you guys kind of just kept it to a minimum, you know. Just, we have a Discord server, if you want to join the Discord server, and then there's a channel in there that is for spoilers, where you guys can talk about that, and you can go in there and basically laugh at my theories in there and talk to each other about how wrong I am, or how, you know, close I get to some things, if that is the case, hopefully. But yeah, that's what this video is going to be. That I'm just going to go through and give my thoughts. And guys, if you are new to the channel and you want to watch me geek out and watch through One Piece for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel. And all you guys that come back and watch all the videos, chat to me all the time about One Piece, love you very much, and I very much appreciate it. But yeah, let's just jump in. Let's just go through some things that I've been thinking about. You know, like, there's a couple of big things that stand out mystery-wise in the series, right? And I'll be jumping back and forth here, you know. So my plan was to kind of do it in order, where I was going to be like, right, because I've got them here in kind of order, where I was going to start from the East Blue and then kind of go through. I will try and stick to that at some points, but for the bigger things, like, let's just get the biggest one out of the way, like the premise of the series, like the One Piece. What do I think the One Piece is going to be? Honestly, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. I think it's going to be more than just a treasure, because of the way the world's been built and the way the kind of the implications of what it means to kind of conquer like the Grand Line. So I don't know what it's going to be, because if it was just I don't think it would be just a treasure, because if it was just a treasure, I don't think that would, because if anybody just found it, it wouldn't, like, that would make them the Pirate King, you know? I think there's going to be more to it. And I think that it is going to involve the poneglyphs. I think the poneglyphs are going to play a part in the One Piece. And that is solely because of the last couple of episodes there in Skypiea. The fact that Goldie Roger wrote that message on the golden bell next to the poneglyph, that is a big factor for me. The fact that in the words he used, it was kind of like you know, he basically said he was leaving a trail. I mean, come on, and it kind of gives me and I'm just going to throw this one out there as well, because I've spoke about it a couple of times, and you guys will probably be sick of me talking about this one, but I'm still hanging on to the hope that Robin is Roger's daughter, and the fact that Roger had wrote the stuff, like the symbols on the poneglyph that only Robin seems to be able to understand. Roger had left a message in those words. It kind of makes me think, right, okay, it gives me more hope that maybe that could be a thing that is going to be revealed, and that my reasoning behind it is obviously like the way it kind of lines up with the ages. Like I shouldn't say we, because you guys do. I don't have much information on Robin yet, and that's what kind of she's clearly the most mysterious member of the crew. She's the newest member, obviously, but everybody else, we kind of got a flashback or a little glimpse into their past. Like, the only thing we've heard from Robin is what we've heard from other people. So that's interesting. You know, I know obviously about she's been wanted by the government since she was 8 years old. And that was kind of what sparked it off for me, where I was like, right, she's like in her late 20s. Roger was executed 20 years ago. You know, 8 years old was when she became wanted. That's my kind of thought behind it. And then when she was asking Luffy, like, about the Will of D, and she's brought it up, and that's something I'm going to discuss as well, but she brought that up a couple of times when she's asked about the Will of D. So I don't know if it's because of that, because of her dad. I'm saying it now, like I've confirmed that it is true in my mind. Like, I'd like that to be the case, that is why she's so obsessed with it, is because of her dad. But yeah, that makes me think that is why, because of the One Piece, and because I think it's linked to the poneglyphs, I think that is why no one's found it all these years, is because the poneglyphs play a part in it. You know, and it seems to be that nobody can read the poneglyphs, but now we have Robin. So if that is the case, and the poneglyphs are going to lead us to the One Piece, then, you know, what a crew member she is. Probably the most important crew member, if that is the case, you know, and I hope it is, because the things that so far, that it's crazy that Robin and obviously Luffy and the gang don't care about ancient weapons, because we've basically read 2 poneglyphs here, and it's telling us about 2 ancient weapons. We don't care about that. What if someone like a crocodile or like an evil pirate got their hands on that information? I could change the world, you know. It's crazy that you know, was it Pluton in Alabasta and Poseidon on Skypiea there? Still don't know much about the ancient weapons, and I can't really hazard a guess about them, because I don't have enough information. I'm going to guess that Poseidon has something to do with the sea, or something to do with under the sea, just because of the name, you know. And that's just where I am with that. But I hope that that comes in. What I love about it is that Roger is so vague at this point, but he's a really mysterious character, and we haven't, like, that is a flashback I want to see. I want to see Goldie Roger, like, in his prime, when he was the Pirate King, and, like, his adventures, just to get more information, because all I've really seen of him was when he got executed, and then little kind of bits of his voice, and then obviously that there in Skypiea, where we found out that he'd went there, and obviously he became friends with Ganfall and stuff. So that's that kind of process of where I'm thinking. The Will of D stuff, all I really have is it's an old family that, you know, it's, you know, that way where, like, as now, like in Scotland where I live, it's the clans. You had all the ancient clans, and then obviously throughout the years the name still kind of goes through there, spread out for all over the place. And that's my kind of way of thinking about it, is that it's probably been a family, and they've had an important part to play, or they've all been kind of like important figures, and they've got this indomitable will, and so this Will of D that people talk about, and I think the first person that mentioned it was Dr. Kureha, and we'll get back to her, but like, she mentioned it, and then obviously Robin that mentioned it, but there's been a few people, but this is the thing, I don't know how names work in the One Piece world. Like, how did it, like, in terms of getting passed on from their parents and stuff, because the D seems to be the name that kind of, like, the part of the name that kind of goes with them. Because obviously, you have Monkey D. Luffy, you have Portuguese D. Ace, you had Gold D. Roger, and then we got revealed that Blackbeard is Marshall D. Teach. So that's really interesting that these people could all be related to each other, you know, and like, obviously distantly from the past, because I don't believe that the, like, you know, Blackbeard's like Luffy's uncle or anything like that. It's going to be a kind of, it's been an old family, and the descendants have spread through the world kind of thing. But I don't know, like, what is the importance of it, you know? Is it because of like, that's my thought, is Robin because of Roger, but if that's not the case, what is her reason for being kind of obsessed with it? What is her reason for asking about the Will of D? Why does she have these questions about it? What happened to her in the past that, you know, caused her to become wanted at the age of 8 years old, and be on the run from the government? I think there was something mentioned about kind of like warships, but that was all information that was given. Something happened to a bunch of warships when she was 8. I don't know. It's like, it can be up in the air. I can't hazard a guess as to what it could be if it's not she's related to somebody like Roger. Other than that, that's all I think there. But then the question comes into play, just talking about family, talking about the Will of D. That's a question I have, is people's parents in this series. Like, we don't know most of the main characters' parents, where they came from. And, like, it wasn't until I was thinking about it and I was looking through my notes and I was like, right, what questions do I have about this series and about these characters? And I was like, oh yeah, like, I think the only 2 characters that we actually know who their parents are is Chopper, because they were reindeers, and they were bad reindeers. And Usopp, we know his mum. We saw his mum on her deathbed. She passed away, and we know that his dad is a bad dad, who is with Shanks. But yeah, Yasopp, we know him. So that is where we can stand with those two. But everybody else is up in the air. You know, we can assume. Well, I assume anyway that Nami's parents died in that war where Belmere found her in that country. So I don't have big questions there. Like, she was found as a baby in a war zone. So I don't expect her parents to play a part in the future. But we don't have any indication of Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Robin. You know, it's obviously Robin is a mystery. We know that. That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping it's going to be like the Goldie Roger thing, but I'm sure Robin's will be revealed in time because we don't have much about her past. But the other three, we've had little flashbacks. I'd say the most in-depth one we got was Sanji's, but we got a little flashback of Luffy at the start, and then obviously Zoro. But with Luffy's one, he was just hanging out in a bar in a town, and obviously he was on good terms with the townspeople, but it wasn't confirmed that any of them were his family, and obviously became friends with Shanks and stuff. But where's his parents? Who was actually looking after him? And Zoro just wandered into a dojo. Where did he come from? Where was Zoro's parents? Like, did he live on that island? Like, and then went to challenge the dojo? Are his parents there? Is he an orphan? I don't think that was explained. And I know obviously they have these people that they consider like parental figures. Obviously Zoro has his kind of master at the dojo. Obviously Kure has dad, right? I understand that, but it's just a question I have. I'm like, did none of them kind of know their biological parents? And then it's never really explained as well with Sanji. Sanji's just working on a ship with a bunch of chefs. It's never explained if his family's on that ship working as well. But it didn't give that vibe. It gave the vibe of he's working on this ship as a chef. Under these other chefs that are there. And then obviously all the stuff happened with Zeph, and Zeph became his kind of dad, right? We know what happened there. But where did they come from? Like, that's the three of the most important characters in the series, and we don't have a clue. Well, sorry, I don't have a clue where they came from, who their parents are, which is interesting. And I really hope that we get answers to it down the line. You know, I really, really hope so. You know, because one of the first things that pops into your head, right, with this series is who, like, when Goldie Roger is revealed and stuff, and then you find out, when you heard, like, the Will of D and things, you think to yourself, could Luffy be the son of Goldie Roger? You know, before I went on to the Robin thing, I think it's the natural thing to think, right, we don't know who Luffy's parents are. Could it be he is actually, like, because you have all the things when we went to different places where people saw the similarities. Like, even Ganfall mentioned it there in Skypiea. It's like, it reminds me of Roger. It gives me the same feeling. So they've hinted that a few times, but then it doesn't work out with the times. Because obviously Roger was executed 20 years ago, and I think Luffy's only 17. I think he's 17 when the show started. So that doesn't work. But it's like, what is the situation there? Like, when did Ace leave to join the Whitebeard Pirates? Because you didn't see Ace in the flashback when Luffy met Shanks. and Shanks lost his arm and stuff, and he got the straw hat. I don't believe Ace, unless Ace was just there but didn't appear in that episode. So, because you heard them speaking about it when they met up in Alabasta, where they spoke about all the things they did as kids and stuff, and obviously arm wrestling each other when they were doing it. But it's interesting. It's like I want to know, did they have an actual parental home, or were they just like a couple of misfits in this town? And I would really like to find out more about that. So that's when I kind of stand there. The other things I was looking at is the Seven Warlords. You know, the Seven Warlords I am curious about. Because we've met... How many of them have we met? Or we've seen? I think we've seen 4 of them. We've seen, obviously, Mihawk. And that is a question. What is Mihawk's relation to Shanks? Right? There's some, like, because they seem to be on good terms, but then Mihawk's like a warlord. Shanks isn't. I don't know how Shanks is in terms of his kind of, like, how the world government kind of sees him. But I don't think it's good. So it's strange that they're on such good terms. Because obviously when you saw the scene where Mihawk starts drinking with them, where he shows Shanks the wanted poster of Luffy, I think Mihawk actually says at the time, I was reminded of a story you told me a long time ago. So they've known each other for a long time. But I'm curious as to how deep that relationship goes. And how good friends they actually are. And, you know, we met Crocodile, obviously. And then the 2 that we met at the kind of like, the meeting that they had at the world government was Bartholomew Kuma, right? But I don't think he spoke. I wrote here like he didn't really say anything. So you had him there, who seems huge, don't know much about him. And then, right, Don Flamingo, right? The guy that's the kind of like, he looked like he was kind of controlling people like puppets. He seems interesting. Like, he seems like an interesting character. He gives off major villain vibes. I think he's going to be like a villain, you know. But then, we've seen those 4. And the only other one I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe that has been spoken about is Jinbei, right? Now, what I think is going to happen there is, because he's obviously the Fishman warlord, and what I think is going to happen there is he's going to be like the villain for one of the arcs, to try and get revenge for what we did to Arlong and his crew. Because that's when we found out about him, was when we were going to take on Arlong. I think it was Yozuku and Johnny that explained who he was, and basically said, like, this guy's like different level, you know, like he's like one of the 7 warlords and he's a fishman, so he's kind of like, Arlong felt like he could do what he wanted because like somebody that powerful had his back, kind of thing. Yeah, but that's kind of where I stand with the warlords. I'm hoping, I don't know what I want to see from the ones that I haven't seen yet. I hope that there's a female one. I want to see like a badass female pirate, and I would like one of the warlords to be maybe a female one. Because I think the only real kind of female pirate we've seen so far, besides the members of the crew, is Alvida, and you know, Alvida's kind of like, she's a character I always forget about. I think she was like the first character. In fact, I think she was like the first villain. But you know, I always forget that she's there until she pops up. Like whenever we see Buggy, I keep forgetting she's on Buggy's ship now. And that's in. I want to know more about Buggy and Shanks. because obviously, because Buggy is, he's a strange character. He's a character that I would never have expected to hold the relevance that he has, because obviously he has this relationship with Shanks from when they were on a crew together when they were young. And so that's a reunion I want to see. I want to see Buggy and Shanks meeting again, because obviously Buggy holds such disdain for him because of what happened, because obviously he made him eat the devil fruit, and then he lost his ability to swim, but then he lost his treasure map that he found. So he's got a grudge against Shanks, as we saw from what he was saying to Luffy. But that is, I want to see that down the line, and I hope it will happen, because he is in the Grand Line now. Like, we saw him meeting with Ace, and it kind of showed as well how much like Buggy actually knows, which was unexpected, because he kind of like gave his crew the kind of like down low and said, don't touch this guy. Like when they saw Ace, when they saw the symbol, and he was like, don't mess with Whitebeard. So he knows Whitebeard. You know, he's been at the Grand Line, which was unexpected. Like, he's obviously there when he was on the crew with Shanks. But what extent of that, how much does like Buggy know? How much is he still hiding about these people that he's met? Because obviously Whitebeard and Shanks seem to be like big figures in this pirate world, and like Buggy, you would never have expected him to be related to them at all, you know, because he was like one of the first people we beat up in East Blue, so I'll never expect him to be in the same breath as them. So I'm interested to see if that will come back into play kind of later on in the story. But I have a thought about Dr. Kureha, like I was saying, and it seems to be that she knows a lot. She seemed like she was giving us down low on the Will of D and about Roger, and the way she spoke about Roger made me think that she knew him well. She knew him well, so I'm thinking that she was maybe on his ship at one point, or I don't know. There's going to be, I'm thinking there's going to be a point where she's going to meet him when he was like young, because I think she's like the oldest person that we've met, you know, human wise. I know that Nola is you know, 400 years old or whatever she is, but I think well, other maybe than I think the Giants may be older than her, because they've been like fighting on that island for like 100 years. So the Giants are maybe older, but in terms of humans, she's the oldest I think we've met, and she seems to know a lot, you know. So I think that she's going to have a connection to Roger. Don't know what it is. I don't think she would have been part of his crew. It's because like she seemed like she's even though everything that happened with Wapple, she's probably been in Drum for a long time, hence why she's such a good doctor. But there's been an interaction there. And I'm just interested to see what that could have been. And I forgot actually about this thing that happened, which is, I was looking through the notes and I was like, what kind of things from Skypiea could I kind of bring up? And there was the part of, obviously we spoke about Roger writing on the poneglyph. Who fixed the ship? Who fixed that ship? Like, I forgot that had happened until I was looking through these notes. Usopp saw somebody fixing the ship, and it looked like a ghost or something. And then it was never explained. It was never explained who fixed the ship. What happened there? You know, I hope that that's going to be answered, because it would have been different if we were down on the sea normally, and like we could explain it somebody maybe doing it on the shadows and stuff, but this happened up in the sky. Who the fault is up there? Like, what could have done this? That's a question I have. Like, what happened there? I really want to find out what happened to, who fixed the ship, because it wasn't as if it was a dream by Usopp. When they woke up the next day, the ship was repaired. And nobody did it. It's not like somebody was sleepwalking, you know. So somebody's fixed the ship. And then what's more curious about it is that, I think it was Usopp or somebody that said, that's weird, because when we went up to Skypiea, we did the modifications to go up the knock-up stream. And then the person that fixed it back to when the Mary, before it had these modifications. So the comment was made, the person that fixed this knew what the Mary looked like before we came here. So it's been somebody that knew them down on the Blue Sea, right? That's a mystery. That I want to know more about that. In terms of the other things in the story of the Void Century. The Void Century is weird. That's a strange one. That's one that I don't like. I really want to know more about it. That is one of my biggest kind of, like, give me answers about that. What does that mean? What is the significance of it? Obviously, I think that, obviously we know that Robin's speaking about it. Her Rio Poneglyph, she wants that. She wants to find out, because she knows that will give her the answers to what happened during this Void Century. And the fact that there is like a century that's just been deleted from history is really curious. And my thoughts behind it are, it's the world government that's done something there. They've done some dodgy dealings there. They're hiding something. They're hiding something because they seem like very shady. You know, it's that way where, like, I can look at it and go, there's some Marines that are good people, but that's Marines. You know, that's like soldiers, like, that don't have a say in, like, the politics and stuff. I think that the actual government structure of it, I don't think that they're going to be good people. Let's put it that way. You know, I was thinking we're going to have, like, the villains in the series. You know, they're setting up Blackbeard to be the villain of the series. But I don't think that the world government or the Marines are going to be the good guys. It just doesn't sit right with me. And, like, who else besides them could have, like, it's not as if pirates are going to be able to delete history. So something shady's going on. Something really shady's going on there. In terms of things I want to happen, or things I want to see, right? I want to see somebody eating a devil fruit. I want to see somebody actually eating a devil fruit, and I want it to be a crew member. I would love it if we found a devil fruit, and somebody like an Usopp or a Nami got to get, like, devil fruit powers. I would love that. I would love it so much. Obviously, as it stands just now, I think we've got 3 people on the crew with devil fruit powers. Luffy, Chopper, Robin. Yeah. So it's kind of half and half. You know, probably you don't want to dilute it too much with devil fruit, because then it kind of loses its shine. But I'd like to see another devil fruit user in the crew, just because I think it's, like, awesome. Like, the creativity behind the devil fruits. I mean, look at it. I mean, look at the crew that we've got, and think of, like, Luffy obviously being rubber is just, you know, he uses it so well and stuff, and the creativity he can have with that ability is great in terms of his fighting. But, you know, the fact that there's a reindeer that became a human, is just funny to me, and he's a doctor. And then Robin's devil fruit is just insane. Like, hers is like so unique, and the way it can be used, like that. When she used it to kind of put all her hands down to kind of go down and get Usopp in the clouds, and then she had the eyes on the hands so she could look out for him, like a little telescope thing. That's awesome. Like, the way they can use it, top notch stuff. And I want to see more of that. I want to see more devil fruits. I think there's going to be like a lot more Logia types based on elements, if that makes sense. Like, I think because we've got Ace as fire, we got smoke, we got Enel there, who was kind of lightning, we got crocodile, sand. So I think we're going to get, I think we're like, just think of, I was thinking about it in terms of like Pokemon. I was like, right, we're going to get grass, we're going to get, I don't know if water would work because they can't swim. Like, if it did, like, how would that work? Would they still not be able to swim if they had like a water Logia? I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get what other like kind of Pokemon elements are like would work? Ice. You could have ice. You could have ice, fire, grass. Like rocks, maybe. Like ground or like rocks. I don't know. It's you've got to think of the things that would work for a Logia, because that seems to be the route they're going down, as elements or things that you can turn their body into, you know. And I'm just curious to see like where can that go, what other ones can we get from that. But I want to see that. I want to see, obviously I want more crew members, you know. We know that obviously Luffy wants a musician. I can't wait for that to happen. I'm interested to see like what other crewmates we're going to get, and what is going to happen down the line of the answers to the questions. Like, I want resolution to, like, there's certain people I want to meet each other. Like, I want to see, obviously Ace is tracking down Blackbeard, because was it Blackbeard? I think he killed a member of the Whitebeard Pirates, which Blackbeard was a part of. So I want to see that. I want to see that confrontation, because obviously it looks like Blackbeard's coming after Luffy. So what's going to happen there? And I want that story. I want to hear about like Blackbeard's fall. You know, what made him kill a member of the Whitebeard Pirates? Why was he a member of the Whitebeard Pirates? Did he take the name Blackbeard to basically stick it to Whitebeard? Because I have to say, I'm away, I'm going to become Blackbeard, like the opposite of you kind of thing. Because like, the way they described Whitebeard was the strongest man in the world, right? But he looks old. It looks as if he was like hooked up to like IVs and stuff. I understand he's still supposed to be like strong, and people are terrified of him, you know. But is he past his prime? You know, obviously he holds that title of the strongest man in the world, but is he? Because he looked in bad shape, right? So I'm curious about that, and about like what is his nature? What is Whitebeard's nature? Because I don't think he's probably like, the thing about Whitebeard that I'm thinking is because of like Ace and Luffy, it looks like they have an absolutely great relationship. They have an actual brotherly relationship. It's not like anime. It's not like Sasuke and Itachi. You know, they don't have that brother, like, oh, we hate each other mentality. They seem like genuinely, like, they love each other. They're brothers, right? And Ace's nature is, like, he's the protective older brother of Luffy. And the crew saw that. And, like, Ace was happy that he had friends. So I don't see Ace following a bad guy. So I don't think Whitebeard is a bad person. I think Whitebeard could be like a Shanks, you know? Like that kind of pirate. Because, like, Ace made the comment to Luffy, he's like, sorry Luffy, I'm going to make him, like, king of the... So you can tell Ace has such respect and love for Whitebeard. So I want to find out about that, because something's happened there to make Ace join Whitebeard's crew. Because obviously Luffy said, oh, Ace left on his journey, I can't remember, a few years before, like, Luffy went out to sea. So something's happened, and Ace has joined them instead of, you know, going for the One Piece himself. So that's my thoughts behind kind of Whitebeard. I don't like the structure of the story is the way I'm thinking about it in terms of, like I said, I think the poneglyphs are going to play a big part in the One Piece. And I wonder where we're going for, because the thing is, when we got to the Grand Line, we were building towards Alabasta, right? We're building towards Alabasta, and we're building towards Alabasta for a long time. Like, we had a few little arcs in between where it was building up Baroque Works, building up Crocodile, building up Alabasta. We had Vivi with us that time. And then after that, I was like, right, where do we go from here? But then we went to Skypiea. We had an adventure in the sky. I loved it. And it was a great story, and it connected to Jaya, which I absolutely loved. But now, as we stand just now, I don't have a clue what's next. I don't know where we're going to go from here. I've heard some arcs from you guys, and I don't mind, like in terms of that, like the names of arcs in the future. It doesn't spoil me on anything, because it's like the arcs in One Piece. It's like I've known now that it's basically the arcs are named after the place that they are, or the place that the arc takes place. But the names are so like unique and weird. Like, it doesn't give you an idea of what the arc's about, you know, because, you know, Barati, I couldn't have told you that was a floating restaurant, you know. Along Park, couldn't have told you what that was, you know. Skypiea, okay. And I know there's been some arcs that you guys have mentioned that you're really excited for. And the one that seems to pop up more than any is, I believe this is, well, I don't know the exact kind of structure of it, but Water 7. What the hell does that mean? What does Water 7 mean? What kind of place is that going to be? That's got me curious. What Water 7? What kind of place is named that? Right? That has got me intrigued. And the hype around that arc has got me really intrigued as to what it could be. But I think that obviously we've got the G8 arc, which is a spoiler arc. And then I think there's, like, as you guys were saying to me, there's a little arc in between. There's like G8, and then I didn't write it down, but it's like G8, and then there's an arc that you guys were saying it's like kind of mixed with like spoilers and non-spoiler stuff. If you guys could let me know about that. What do you guys think? Is there parts of it you think I should just watch in my own time and just go quickly through it? Or should I watch it all? I'm talking like the one in between G8 and I believe Water 7. What is the kind of filler situation there? Because I don't, like, some people have said to me it's like half and half. But how is it, like, does it work? Like, people have said that some of the episodes, it kind of, you have to watch them because it's like half filler, half canon. Give me your opinions on that. What do you guys think of that? How I should tackle that arc, you know? And then I'll just kind of, I'll go if you guys think of it. I don't know if I can maybe do a poll or something. Maybe do a poll about it once I read your comments and kind of get an idea of the best way to handle it. I'll maybe put a poll up to see what the kind of consensus is. But yeah, that's my kind of thoughts at this moment. I've got a couple of other things that I just kind of want to, I'll just go rapid fire through, that I want to see in the series. I want us to one day go to Elbath, because that was mentioned, like when Usopp was talking about that with the giants on Little Garden. So I'd like for that to be an arc in the future. I don't know if it's been one, but that's one that I'm curious about. One of the things that has me worried is the Wall of P. This is a comment I've seen popping up in videos, and it scares me, right? Because I thought it was a joke that when what happened with Pell, when Pell survived that bomb, and that was in that episode, it was Wall of P, lol, right, all that stuff. And then in Skypiea, when Conus's dad came back to life, and his name begins with a P. I can't pronounce his name, right? It's a weird one, but it begins with P, and then again, Wall of P, blah blah. Are there going to be more characters in this series that I'm going to get fake out deaths of that start with P? Because this seems like a thing in the community where it's like a running joke, right? So now I'm going to be worried. Every time there's a character pops up in this series, its name starts with P, and they supposedly die, I'm going to be like, nah. Wall of P. That guy's not dead, he's coming back. So that's my thought process on that. Are we going to get a resolution to Laboon? Because we had Laboon there, and like we got the little story of his crew that kind of left, and I think it was, how long was it? I don't know. I wrote it here. It was like, was it 50 or 40 or something like that? It's been a long time. Anyway, it's been a long time. But I'm kind of hoping that maybe get brought up again, you know? Hopefully. You know, because that was the thing I was worried about when we got to Jaya and we got the story of Noland. I was like, are we never going to find out about that? And they did. We got the answers to it and that there. So I'm hoping that maybe one day I'll get the answer to that with Laboon's crew and what happened with them. In the Grand Line, because it's like, I know we got the kind of nice little resolution with Luffy painting the Jolly Roger onto Laboon, and it was a kind of like, right, we're your friends now, we're definitely going to come back. I liked that. It was a nice little resolution to stop Laboon from banging his head against the wall. But I'd like to just know, for peace of mind, for like, right, what happened, you know? That would be nice to know that. Yeah, to what extent Zeph, Redfoot Zeph, to what extent was he in the Grand Line? Because he can, like, I think there's more of that than he's letting on. Because he kind of was speaking about it, and he had his like logbook and stuff there that Luffy didn't want, and I love that. But he knew Mihawk, and he knew a lot of things about the Grand Line, and like Don Krieg was shocked by hearing the name, so it obviously was a big deal, or it was well known in the Grand Line. So I'd like to see more about Zeph in his younger days. You know, I would like that very, very much. But I don't think that, I know I'm asking for much here, but the thing is, the reason that I want these answers to these things is because I know what this series is like. You know, I feel like in any other series, we wouldn't get resolutions to these questions. But with this, with One Piece, I feel like I'm probably going to get these answers at one point, you know, which is exciting, you know, because it's the little things like that, you know, little things like that I'm like, right, okay, you know, I know, like, in terms of the parents, right, the main character's parents, I feel like it's such a well-structured story that at some point we're going to get the context of their parents, hopefully, and it'll fit in well. Like they'll do it well. Like they know what they're doing. They know where to put the kind of flashbacks in, because I was thinking about that and I was like, with Robin, I was like, it's weird that we've not had her backstory. But then when I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute, we had Nami with us from like really early on. Like in the first 10 episodes, Nami was with Zoro and Luffy. And we didn't get her backstory until Arlong Park. So, you know, and it was when we needed to know it. It was when we needed to know her backstory, because that was the thing I had. I had the questions. When she was looking at the wanted posters on the ship, she spotted Arlong's wanted poster and stuff. I was like, oh, what's going on here? And then when we thought that she'd betrayed us, it's like, something's happened here. And then they showed the flashback when it needed to be shown, when we were there. And when we had to know the past and about Belmere and about this island that we were on. So I feel like those questions will be answered when they need to be. When the parents become relevant to the story. And hopefully it will. Because the thing about like Luffy, it looks like that is his hometown he was on, because all the people there know him and love him, right? And like the barmaid and the mayor, I think it was, like they all love him. The townspeople love Luffy there, right? And like Zoro obviously grew up in that dojo with all his friends there, and with Kureha and stuff. But Sanji, the thing about Sanji is, he said that he was from, oh god, I can't remember, he isn't from the East Blue. I think it was North Blue. He's from the same place that Noland was from. I think it was North Blue, right? Because that's the place where Noland's country was. So Sanji, when they reading the book, he said, oh yeah, like he knew the book because he was from North Blue. So, if he's from North Blue, what is he doing working on a ship in the East Blue as a kid, as a chef? What's happened there? You know, what has happened in Sanji's life? So, that is just like, I think about that, I'm thinking, right, there's going to be more context to these characters. There has to be, you know, and like, I love the fact that we're 200 episodes in and I don't know these things, but I'm still so invested in these characters. I love these characters and their personalities and stuff, and the little bits of history I do know about them, but I want to know more. I really want to know more. But yeah, guys, those are just my thoughts on the series so far, or some of my thoughts. I'm sure there are a couple of things I've forgotten about. You know, a couple of questions I have that I'll probably, anything that I forgot to mention, I'll mention it in the tier list video that I'll do next. You know, like, because I guarantee as soon as I stop recording this video, there's going to be something that pops into my head. I'll be like, oh yeah, what's the deal with that? But yeah, as it stands, guys, those are my thoughts, those are my theories on just some of the things that I think may happen, some of the things I want to happen, and my understanding of the world as it is kind of right now. How am I way off the base on some things? Is there some things that you're laughing at because some things I may be close to, some things I'm like miles off the mark on? I hope that some of the things I've spoke about I get answers to, and I get more context on, or I get, you know, kind of close to with my thought process on it. Because like that's the thing about this series is they like to do the reveals. They like to keep things in the dark, you know. It's like when they showed the Seven Warlords and you just got the silhouettes You know, how long was Crocodile in the shadows before we actually got to see him? You know, how much suspense did they build up of Anel before we got to see him? And I don't, like, I know that I didn't bring up the fact that Anel's going to the moon, because you guys have told me it's going to be in one of the cover stories. So I'll find out about that, I suppose. But like, how does that work in this world? Because I need to remember, it's not like our world kind of thing. Like, so what is the solar system and like how space works in One Piece world? You know, because how far away is the moon? You know, like, I know that in our world it's, you know, that way where it's close to the Earth, but and like, how far does an L need to go to get to this moon? And can he breathe in space? All those kind of things. I'm guessing he can if it's a cover story, but does that mean everybody can in that world? You know, these are the things. These are the things that you just don't know. And I'm hoping we will find out the answers to in the future. But right now, we will be going into the G8 arc, which is, I know it's filler, so I don't expect any of the answers to the questions I've had today to be in that arc. Hopefully, once that's passed and we get on to the next ones and the Water 7 that you guys have spoke about, we'll see how that kind of goes. But yeah, like I said, if you guys could give me your opinions on the arc after G8, I can't remember what it's called, but you guys will know. Give me your opinions on that and what you think I should do with that one. Yeah, and thanks very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And if you have made it this far and haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. And then you can watch me, you know, be gutted when it's revealed that Robin is not Goldie Roger's daughter in the future. And yeah, guys, thank you all so much, and I'll see you all on the next one. Thanks, guys.